As always, I'm your host, Ryan Zicast, and today I'm joined by movie enthusiast Tyler Villanueva.
Yes, it is such an honor to be here, Ryan. I saw your message and I was jumping with glee. Let me just tell you that much. It is such an honor, and I'm so excited to get started. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. And I'd like to shout out episode 85 guest Harry Rosenay for technical directing once again.
Thank you.
So Tyler, you know what we do here. I interview people, I get to know them better, and I'm hyped to get to know you more. So how about you kick things off by telling us a bit about yourself?
Yes, well, you introduced my name. I am Tyler Villanueva. I am a first-year student here at Quinnipiac. I'm a freshman. I have a BFA in film, media and television arts. I believe that's the full title. Yes, I said it correct. Great. But besides that, you kind of summarized it nicely. I am a movie enthusiast and inspiring filmmaker myself. Is it cool if I plug something real quick?
Of course you can.
I would like to plug my letterbox, as most film students have. You can go follow me at @afilmbro, which is where you can see my hot takes, regular film opinions, whatsoever. But yeah, I'm obsessed with cinema, always have been, and I'm ready to discuss it.
Yeah, we live and die by letterbox. And also, Tyler, where are you from?
I am from Queens, New York, so living in the city my entire life has kind of gotten me exposed to the culture of film. My life has been very interwoven with cinema, I feel like, and I've experienced a lot of actual productions myself. I've visited a couple of film sets. I've just browsed a couple of shoots. It's like walking across the street because I feel like because living in the city has given me opportunity because it's so lively and constantly surrounded by so many interesting characters. It feels almost as generic as this is about to sound that I live in a movie myself.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's been. I love New York. There's a lot of great independent theaters in New York that I love to browse. But yeah, I live in Queens, New York, to summarize what you were trying to say.
Awesome. Do you have any specific memories from like visiting a set or anything that, like, if you were able to be like an extra or anything like that?
A specific memory. I remember being a kid and I was walking through the city with my parents, and I can't remember the specific film that was shooting that day because I was young, of course. But I remember just sitting there taking it all in, and at the time, of course, I was into movies, but I hadn't known the work that truly goes into creating one. So I was just taken aback by the level of effort and care that goes into creating such a piece of work, and it really brought things into perspective to me. That even at such a young age, I knew deep down that this is what I inspired to do.
Chills.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so that kind of answers like what was going to be my first question, which is like where your passion for film stems from, kind of being in the city, being in the culture of movies, and then kind of letting it infuse into you. Would you say that's accurate?
Of course. In addition to that, I feel like my dad was always a big part of getting me into movies. I've told the story actually quite frequently to some of my closest friends, but I remember specifically I was 5 years old at the time, and my dad was watching The Godfather on television, which, let me just say, as much as I love Francis Ford Coppola, is not a movie a 5-year-old should be watching, especially at my age. But I just remember being, I was just flabbergasted by the images on screen, and they spoke to me. Because at the time, you know what you watch you watch, you know, your Disneys, your cartoons, and that's not dismissing that at all. I mean, there's some phenomenal animated films out there, but just seeing like what is elevated beyond that, it just brought my appreciation of film to a deeper level.
Interesting. So you got taught young.
I did get taught young. He showed me a lot of class. He showed me. In addition to The Godfather, showed me The Shining. What else? Just a lot of, you know, big 70s, 80s classics. Scarface was a favorite of his, so we watched that. We watched Lord of the Rings together.
Awesome.
Just a lot of great memories that I shared with my dad, and I kind of feel like he passed his love of film on to me, which I greatly appreciate.
Interesting. Were your first words, "It insists upon itself"?
It insists upon itself, yes. The great wise words from Peter Griffin.
Yes. You could tackle any movie.
Of course.
With that. And of course, you've been here at Quinnipiac. You've been able to make a lot of films. So what are some of your favorite film projects that you've worked on here?
My favorite film, well, I'll have to say the one that I look back most fondly on is probably the Fall production, which was directed by one of my close friends, Josh Brzezinski. It was titled Close to You. I had the privilege of acting on that one. My character was named Old Man. His name was Old Man. He does not have a name. But just because I worked on film, because I went to a film high school, actually.
Oh, really?
So I had previous experience with working on a set and, as being a part of a crew. But just being in such a new environment with brand new faces, it was a fresh start, which made things very exciting for me. But just, I mean, like I said before, I was just taken aback by seeing the amount of passion, because this was if I can add on, I'm going to tangent for a moment, but this was a QFS production. I'm part of the Quinnipiac Film Society, which we can delve more into later on. But because of that, everybody on that set, no matter what, no matter our cultural background, our beliefs, whatever, we had one thing in common, and that was movies, and that brought us together. And I feel like this feeling, that love, that energy, that passion on set really rejuvenated me and reinstilled this love for cinema that I've had for my entire life.
Awesome. And of course, like you kind of pull things back a little bit. You mentioned going to a film high school. Tell me what that was like.
Yes, I'd love to. I'm going to plug. I guess I'll plug my high school too now. It was in Long Island City, New York. It's the name is Academy for Careers in Television and Film. So basically, how it worked is it was essentially your standard high school. But we had a production class. We had one for my freshman year and my sophomore year. And then in my junior year, we divided up into cohorts. Now, that included, we had one group of directors, one group for production design, one group for hair and makeup. And it gave us a chance to really, take a look at an individualized... I'm trying to think of a way to
like different departments.
Yeah, different departments. That's what I'm trying to say, and how much work really goes into and how everything kind of comes together as a unit. So I worked on a couple of personal projects there, and in senior year I've directed a couple of little skits with my friends, of course.
Yeah.
But I'd say my first real professional per se directing gig came in senior year, and that's when we had this thing called a senior honors production, and that's when, because during the entirety of junior year we were relegated to our specific cohort, but this year we were able to do whatever we had envisioned. So this time I had an opportunity to direct. So I was like, you know what? I was like, let me put my my what's the expression? Head in the ringer, or do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, like your hat in the ring.
Hat in the ring. There we are. Thank you, Ryan. Let me throw my hat in the ring and see what I'm made of. So I made my first debut. I would call it. It was titled My Bloody Valentine. It was kind of this elevated actioner based on a lot of the films that my dad showed me. Funny enough. So think your Predator, your Terminator. And it was such an incredible experience being able to, because I've written screenplays and done I've done little projects with friends my entire life, but this was the first time that I was really able to show what I was made of, and it was very rewarding, and honestly, I would say strangely cathartic in a way.
Interesting.
Just being able to release my creative juices almost.
Yeah, and then really. Get you into film. And I like you brought up that your school would show you the different departments, because it's always important, I feel like, to be well-rounded. I feel like a lot of film students who aren't well-rounded that graduate from school, they say their biggest regret is that they didn't touch upon enough departments, and I'm glad that your school was able to show you that before you jumped into literally majoring in it in college. Very
much so, because I feel like everybody wants to be a director, but I feel like even me, who loves making films and being a director, of course, they don't really know what goes into it. So I feel like being able to go into the smaller departments gave me a fully realized version of everything that goes behind the scenes and into the process.
Yeah, and even being a director, you kind of have to know those other departments. And I think of like Christopher Nolan sometimes will operate the slate,
Yes.
Or
yes.
Christopher Nolan will like work with the sound people. Like it's if you want to really be a director, you have to like know those other departments in order to make, or because basically as a director, you're kind of just helping other people do their jobs, essentially. And so it helps you that if you actually like know the films. And of course, you brought up acting on the Quinnipiac Film Society's fall production. You also acted in the spring production, so you went back to back.
Directed by yours truly, Ryan Zayaks. Yes.
Tragic Times for Mr. Comedy, where you played Danny, who is Mr. Comedy's cameraman. How about you tell us about that experience?
I would love to. Well, I was accompanied by a wonderful crew and the best director I could have ever asked for. No, but once again, I have nothing but praise to say for the QFS groups, because this I'd say. Sorry, I'm just going to backtrack for a second.
Yeah.
Think about but yeah. It is filled with so much unadulterated passion.
Yeah.
For this product, everybody who I feel like everybody who's in the position that they were in truly put their all.
Yeah.
Which not only instills into me that I want to do the best job I possibly can to show these people that we're putting like a lot of love and care into this.
Yeah. And your character, of course, is for those who've seen the film, it's like the straight man to Mr. Comedy. He's very big, over the top character. And I know, and when I sent you the email asking if you want to play the role, I said that you were very Morgan Freeman.
Oh, yes, you did.
Which the smooth voice, the calm presence, and then it was like the Shawshank Redemption, but you're Quinnipiac.
And honestly, it was very fun to play the straight man for a change, because even though backtracking to Close to You, the fall production that we worked on for QFS, the old man, I decided to give him a southern accent just because I thought it was a fun touch, and Josh ended up liking it, so I kept it for the character. I feel like for a lot of my performances, I ham it up a lot, so being able to kind of reel it back in for once and play almost just a normal guy was a very interesting change, and it kind of helped me explore the nuances in such simplicity in a funny way.
Yeah, and you get to kind of play upon like how frustrated he could be with Mr. Comedy, and it kind of like contrasts him well with like he's kind of like Mr. Comedy's like punching bag in a sense, and you were able to play on that very well.
Thank you.
And able to like give such a serious voice to everything. And I'm also curious, I asked our previous guests, Harry and Ian, the same question. What do you want to say with your voice in the film industry?
That is a very deep question. I mean, there's layers to that, man. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of white guys like me who have gotten their shot in the industry. So it's hard to say what's something new I would bring. But I just feel like there's this drive in me. What I've been fascinated by recently are genre bending stories. I would like to shout out a recent film I've watched actually, with Ryan Coogler's Sinners. Yes,
I knew it was coming. I have, yeah. I knew you were going to say Sinners.
I have to bring it up somehow, because the first half of that is almost a Western inspired drama, and then it moves on into this almost gothic horror film.
Musical.
And, yeah, even musical, you could say. And the transition between the two is seamless. But it works so well. The combination of so many different cultures is combining into this singular piece. So I kind of feel like taking these instilled norms, put it into the film industry, and elevating those concepts is something that's always fascinated me. Like another thing, like an exploitation film. A film I actually love is Black Dynamite. We watched it during the Sundance trip. Funny enough, when I was waiting in between one of my showings, and something like that, which could have easily been portrayed as your stereotypical comedy, feels so refreshed and unique, and something that's totally new, even though it plays upon a lot of similar tropes. But it takes that and evolves with it almost.
Interesting. And you bring up, it's perfect, you bring up Sundance.
Yes.
'Cause I was going to bring that up. And it's like you joined us on our trip in 2025. Tell us a bit about your experience there.
Oh, all right. It was an incredible experience. I had such a pleasure being a part of that. Of course, being able to experience some of these big premieres with some of my closest friends was obviously a blast. But I feel like, of course, I've always wanted to attend a film festival. That's always been a dream down the pipeline. But I think there's something so special about Sundance, it being held in January, so early on to the year before anything really comes out. Because I feel like Sundance is the year where like the truly independent films are showcased. And there's I had the pleasure of seeing a lot of directors' debut features screened there. And I was just, sitting back after having processed the film, of course, but like watching the Q&As that they were conducting. And I was thinking to myself, like, this is the place where you make it.
Yeah.
Like this is where it all begins. So it really struck me on not only on a professional core, because this is the place I want to be, obviously, to like elevate my career.
Yeah.
But it's on a personal core. Like this is like one of the moments I look back on, and it feels like I made it, even if for a moment.
Interesting. And just being around these professionals in Park City, Utah.
Of course.
And just being able to kind of soak in movies. And to kind of continue onwards, I'd like to ask you, what are some things people might not know about you, like fun facts?
Fun facts? That's a good question. I wouldn't say I'm classically trained at all, but I did musical theater for 3 years, which is kind of how, even though I feel like I'm much more comfortable behind the camera, not really an anxiety thing per se, but more that I enjoy creating the stories rather than telling them. Well, but I mean, I guess that could be contradictory because you are telling the story behind the camera, but I mean like verbalizing it. But that kind of brought me into the acting side of things, and I enjoy acting a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. So I'm always happy to help my friends when they need someone. But no, yeah, I love musical theater actually. Some of my I'm sorry, I'm stuttering a bit, but yeah, I've always been enthralled by live musical theater, of course, but live theater in general. I just feel like, even though I've of course been struck by film most of all, seeing these performances orchestrated on such a literal level, like because you're seeing it all conducted live, it's an entirely different playing field, and I feel like elevates things on such an entirely different level, and it's so great to like look at because still the fundamentals are there. You need a lighting department for a production. You need a director. It's so similar yet different. I feel like you can get something completely new out of it.
Yeah, I mean, theater is really what set up film to become what film is today.
Yes.
So there's always that correlation. And I'd also like to ask you, what's one thing you love and one thing you strongly dislike, just in general?
In general, well, I'm gonna have to relate this back to film. I have a love-hate relationship with the critic. In that I find I've done something recently with my letterbox, in that I used to always give films, I gave them fair judgment. I gave them a rating out of 5. What I do now is I log them, but I only rate films that I give a 5. Not because I'm afraid to see what other people think of my opinions, but I think that being a part of filmmaking for so long now, it's opened me up to like a different perspective in the creation of them, and in the way that I treat them and value them, and I'm trying to think of what else to add.
Yeah,
just that I feel like it's something I cherish deeply. I feel like almost diminishing people's work, not necessarily strikes a nerve with me, but I feel like there's something so deeply enriching, even in the worst films, to think about. Like there was an entire production crew
Yeah.
that was behind this, and put their all in it, regardless of how, regardless of the quality that it turned out to be.
Yeah.
So I feel the critic is valuable in learning life lessons. Critics are needed to evolve not only as a collective but as individuals, as people. But I feel like we should all be nicer to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very nuanced. And of course, when you work on films, you see how hard it is to make a film.
It is incredibly hard to make a film.
And films are about empathy. And so this gives you empathy for the filmmaker.
Yes.
Which is very vital. And I think that's kind of the core of what you're getting to.
Because a lot of these filmmakers are telling very personal stories that are true to them. It feels wrong to almost be dismissing what they're trying to say.
That's very, very very honest, and a very great way to look at it, because everybody, especially now on social media, everyone is a critic.
Yes.
It's always important to keep that in mind. And kind of moving onwards, I'd like to ask you, what are some of your hopes and dreams professionally or in general? My
hopes and dreams professionally. I mean, to make it in the industry, that's for one. I've told a lot of my friends that if I don't make it into film, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life, which isn't true. I have backups if needed, but I feel like film has always been such a strong part of my life, and it's like injected into my veins almost, that I don't know who I am without it almost. I have such a personal connection to it that I just feel like I was put onto this earth to tell stories. Like that's my purpose. It's not even like something I want anymore. It's something I know I need to do. Yeah, it's just this feeling that's like embedded inside of me. And so my hopes are to inspire people. To not be afraid to tell their own stories and explore whatever they're passionate about, whether that be film or any other metric or whatever.
Yeah, that's deep.
Thank you.
And very, very powerful, and really, really great example of why we kind of do this. In of course, with film, there's a lot of long days, a lot of challenging obstacles, a lot of which you can't plan for, and that passion is kind of what keeps you going through all of that. And of course, you talk about how much you love movies. How about I ask you your favorite movies?
My favorite movies. Now we're getting juicy.
Yes.
I suppose we'll go back at the letterbox. We'll go into my top 4 right now. A lot of my top 4 is more vibe based because it's hard to say what my favorite film of all time is. What is my favorite film of all time? I feel like that's such a nuanced statement. And it can honestly differentiate
yes.
on the day. I always say my standard answer is 2001: Space Odyssey. That's the film that truly showed me it's the film that kind of changed everything for me. Like that put me on an entirely different wavelength. But if I'm going to go with my top 4 right now, first off, I just want to shout out M. Night Shyamalan's Trap. It is one of my. I'll say it. Yeah, I'll say it. It's my favorite film of 2024.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting.
Big statement. I know that's an unpopular opinion, but I would love to spread the love. I think M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan is one of my favorite directors, but I think he's truly underrated. I love a lot of his work, but this is me going on a tangent. My top 4 at the moment. I forgot who directed it, but I have the original 80s Roadhouse on it.
Oh, sick.
Loved. I'm pretty sure it was shot on film. Love the neon lights. I think images. If you know me personally, you know how much I talk about images. I think images are very important. I feel like while dialogue obviously conducts a film and gets the progression of a scene moving, I think if a film is truly able to stand on its own, it needs to stand out on a visual level. So I take that into account very strongly. I love the neon lights, very great colors in it. I have Coppola's One from the Heart.
Interesting.
Another one, because actually I mentioned the Godfather earlier, but I think I probably prefer The Godfather as a film, but there's something that's so striking and overly ambitious even if it is entirely messy about what he tries to accomplish one from a heart.
Yeah.
There's some truly the power of the picture, man.
Yeah.
It cuts deep for me. I love Scorsese, like many. I currently have After Hours on my top 4. I just think it's so unlike anything he's done before. It's rough around the edges. It's clearly some of his early work because it feels less polished, and I kind of feel like almost from that it speaks to me on a deeper level. It's because even though I probably say it's flawed in more aspects than some of his other films, I feel like it's the most authentically true to himself. And I can't remember my 4th film, funny enough. So I'm just gonna choose. You know what? I'm gonna pull one out of left field. I'm gonna say, actually no, this is a pretty popular one. I'm gonna say Wong Kar-wai's Fallen Angels.
Oh, awesome!
Love the green hues in that. I think that it is an absolutely beautiful film. I love his use of yearning and longing. The way he truly like leans into the image and is, like lets it soak in and speak for itself almost. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to images, because I feel like that's the power of cinema. That's something you can't capture in theater. That still frame, that everlasting moment.
Yeah, and that brings us back to like talking about like how theater influenced film, but then film is so much of its medium in its own point. And overall, Tyler, I'd like to thank you so much for coming on this episode.
Of course, this was an absolute blast. I'm so thankful that you chose me. Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, do you have any motivational words or plugs or anything you'd like to leave the audience with?
Motivational. I mean, as you say best, everyone has a story.
Yes.
But motivational words I would like to say for myself. Just keep dreaming, man. Whatever you inspire to do, you got this in the bag. It might be hard. It's gonna be rough out there. But if you are truly motivated and you know this is what you got to do, you're not gonna give up. And I believe in anyone who may be watching this.
That's very powerful and very inspiring, as this episode's been, Tyler. And it's always fun being around you. You always have good vibes, always cracking jokes. And you're great to have on set, which is, of course, very important in this industry. Why I also really wanted you on the film, because I knew that the vibes were going to be really good.
Thank you. And it was an absolute blast, by the way, to be a part of your project. I can't wait to see it in fruition. Yeah,
me too. And I'd like to thank you so much again, Tyler, for coming on.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much.
And as always, this is Ryan Zicast with the Zicast, where everyone has a story. Signing off. Thank you so much for watching.
Thanks, guys. Bye.